Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi. We are on Love 99.5 FM. We are live in all 16 regions of Ghana. We are on Lonlonyo FM in Hohoi, Jatai FM in Karaga, A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bogatanga. We're live on X Spaces. We're on Facebook. You're My Joy Online. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrol Soul, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrol Soul is always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDP pipes and water tank. We are the only water storage tank with the level indicator, and where Duraplus goes, water always flows. This afternoon, the Interior Minister describes as false minority allegations that all NPP parliamentary candidates have been given 30 slots for recruitment into the various security services.
But I want to say on authority that giving 30 slots to parliamentary candidates or members of parliament is false. It is not true. It has never happened before.
We have details as he explains that the existing backlog will be cleared in the next 4 years before the resumption of the usual advertisement. But a member of the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament says Dr. George Akufu-Dampare will go down in history as the worst IGP if he does not stand up against the political capture of the police service.
If the IGP allows political capture of the police institution and each parliamentary candidate of the ruling government succeeds in bringing 30 people, the IGP is going to go down history as the worst ever Inspector General of Police.
We'll get to hear from a criminologist who says the development is worrying. Also this afternoon.
It's not about your saying that other MPs may be in your position and they have not applied to the speaker. Does not absolve you.
Agric Minister Nofton Wempi trade words over the 60% sale of Snit stake in hotels to Brian A. Champon's Rock City Hotel more as the Rock City Hotel owner threatens to name minority NDC members who own shares in companies but do not have permission from the Speaker of Parliament.
You don't, and I have all the list of the NDC MPs who own shares in companies but don't have certificate from the Speaker because of their roles in these organizations.
Also this afternoon, Electoral Commission registration officers sacked and arrested by the police for allowing fake Ghana card numbers to register some individuals in the ongoing voter registration exercise at the Pusiga district. We have details of that. We have sports.
Ghana's Black Starlets are aiming for a semi-final spot in the Waffle Zone B Cup of Nations as they take on Benin later today.
And London authorities pursue Ghana's High Commission in the UK for over £5 million in unpaid congestion charges. Details as they vow to push for the matter to be taken up at the International Court of Justice.
They think that the diplomats in London are supposed to pay these taxes, and that is why they insist that they would move to every extent to ensure that all these diplomats pay this tax. You have America, you have Japan, you have India, you have Nigeria, you have China.
We have details of that and more here on the Midday News. I am Emefa Apau. Please stay on. Many thanks for your company. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Let's dig in now. And the Interior Minister, Henry Quartey, says it is untrue that the security and intelligence agencies are currently recruiting new patriotic party members into the security services, as alleged by the minority in Parliament. He said even though there are plans for recruitment, the target for the said recruitment were persons who had previously applied for jobs in the security and intelligence agencies but were not selected or are still desirous of being recruited. The minority, led by its leader, Dr. Kaisala Tofosing, and a former Deputy Minister of Interior, James Agalga, had alleged that the government had given 30 slots to members of Parliament from the NPP sides to get people into the various security agencies. My colleague and Presidential Affairs correspondent Elton Broby joins me in your studio with more on this. So Elton, you've been digging on this issue. What did we find?
So what we've been told is that the Interior Ministry is almost in the process of releasing a statement on the decision, the reason behind the decision to undertake this recruitment without first advertising it in the media. What we've been told is that there are currently over 200,000 backlog of people that apply to join either the police, the military, immigration, or the other security agencies, but for some other reasons were unable to do so. So in conjunction with the various security agencies and government, the decision was taken that they should clear the backlog before they open the space for people to advertise. But the condition is just that, for example, for the police, you must be within a certain age bracket before you can be enlisted into the Ghana Police Service. So even though they are clearing the backlog, they are mindful of the age gap. And until the backlog is cleared, they will not open the space or advertise for people to apply. That's the information we have. And that's what we are told will be contained in the statement that is yet to come from the Interior Ministry.
Okay, that's Elton Broby. Of course, he'll be on the Pulse at 3 p.m. on the Joy News channel, and there'll be more on that. But I've been telling you about the minorities press conference yesterday, alleging that 30 slots have been made available to all NPP parliamentary candidates. But the Interior Minister has been speaking to Joy News. Henry Quartey says the claim cannot be true.
Unfortunate that members of parliament and, of course, a leader, a minority leader, and a former deputy minister of interior could actually spew this falsehood into the public. Can we just do the calculation? So members of parliament currently are about 137, okay? If you multiply 30 by 137, how many people were approved by the clearance, okay? Because before you recruit, you have to have clearance from Minister of Finance. Off the top of my head, when you multiply 137 by 30, you're around 4,400. It cannot be possible. It is not, and it cannot be possible. I'm rather disappointed in this approach. Now, yes, we are recruiting, but it is not a secret recruitment. What we are saying, we haven't even started. The agencies are going to send out the eligibility criteria. I'm sure by this week they will do that. What we are saying, rather, is that, look, in the last couple of years, people have gone to buy forms, okay? And for some reason, they could not gain admission into the security and intelligence agencies. So we thought it wise that, okay, we don't have to advertise anymore for people to continuously pay money. Okay? So, for instance, if you are to recruit, say, 1,500 into the prison service, and then you have 20,000 or 40,000 people go to buy the forms, we think that it is not fair on the public. So what we are saying is that those who have bought their forms previously are the ones who will be eligible, for that matter, to be considered depending on, you go through a process. But I want to say on authority that giving 30 slots to parliamentary candidates or members of parliament is false. It is not true. It has never happened before.
That's the Interior Minister Henry Quartey there, but a member of Parliament for Wa West, Peter Lanchene Tobu, who is also a member of the Defence and Interior Committee, is warning the Inspector General of Police, George Akufu-Dampare, that he will go down as the worst if he does not stand up against the political capture in the police service.
That is what we call political capture of a state institution. So probably we'll move a bit further from politicization to total political capture. And if that happens, it's not about my party. It's about the fact that Ghana as a nation has gone democratic. And we're saying that transparency, accountability, equality, and the representation are some of the values I want to espouse. And very particularly, we should see these values in the Ghana Police Service. Why would we have to descend to the point that we are allowing politicians to take over the administrative and operational duties of the Inspector General of Police? For instance, the Minister for Interior. The Minister for Interior is a policy person. And the Minister of Interior should not be seen micromanaging or attempting to intervene on matters of administration or operations when the IGP is there. If the IGP allows that, he will go down history as one of the worst IGPs ever in our democracy. Let me repeat this. If the IGP allows political capture of the police institution, and each parliamentary candidate of the ruling government succeeds in bringing 30 people, some for police, the army, immigration, or whatever, the IGP is going to go down history as the worst ever Inspector General of Police.
That's the Wa West MP, Peter Lanchene Tobu, himself a former police officer. Now, what is the danger of having politically exposed persons in the police service? Here's Associate Professor of Criminology with the University of Cambridge, Justice Tembeke.
We now have a situation where there is this kind of so-called backlog of recruitment. It's something not only astonishing, but I think completely new. And that, of course, makes it quite surprising for if one considers the role of the police. This is an institution that is supposed to represent, reflect, manifest the key principles that underpin the kind of governance that we have decided for ourselves. Issues of transparency, public scrutiny, equality, all these other principles. And what we are seeing now defeats those very principles.
How dangerous is it, this precedent we have set?
It's not the best of situations, of course, but not only because of elections and politics. We have to remember the work that the police spend their time doing most of the time, investigating all kinds of offenses. And you need people who are committed to what could sometimes be an extremely stressful, boring job. And if you don't have people who are sufficiently committed to this kind of task, the danger is that we would have offenders remain in the community, they're not being held to account, and so forth. So
that's Associate Professor of Criminology with the University of Cambridge, Justice Ten Beke there. Away from those issues, let's focus on some other issues now. Minister for Food and Agriculture and owner of Rock City Hotel, Brian A. Champon, says there have been no procurement breaches in SNIT's decision to sell 60% of its stake in hotels to Rock City Hotel. Brian A. Champon added that there's been no conflict of interest regarding his work as a minister and as one of two executive directors of his hotel because he does not receive any incentive from the hotel, which will require him to seek for a certificate from the Speaker of Parliament before proceeding with the purchase of the stakes, a practice he says most of the minority MPs are engaged in. He's been speaking on the Super Morning Show.
I'm not occupying an office for profit in Rock City, and I am not receiving emolument.
But you are the director.
But I
you
am
the director.
I am the
from the corporation articles.
Hold on.
You are the director.
If you go to hold on, be patient, please. If you go to Registrar General, the forms ask for two directors. I am one director and another person. But in the functional role that I will receive emoluments or occupy an office for profit in the organization, or my activities in the organization will prevent me from doing my work in Parliament or as a minister, does not come in. So being a director, as per Registrar General's documentation, and functioning as a non-executive director in the functional role are two different things. So, Sami, you don't, and I have all the list of the NDC MPs who own shares in companies but don't have certificate from the Speaker because of their roles in these organizations.
Well, the MP for North Tongue, Samuel Okudzeto Ablaka, was also on the Super Morning Show. He was the one who brought the issue to light, and he insists Brian A. Champon has breached the law because he's the owner of Rock City Hotel and stands to benefit from the profits made by the hotel, and hence there's a conflict of interest, which he hopes Shraj will address.
I've checked all of that, and you see in the petition...
Yeah, you have checked that I'm a manager? I occupy an office for
that all of these matters, I'm clear in my mind that you should have sought
it is not what is in your mind,
permission of Mr. Speaker. So it is a matter that Shraj is seized with. Shraj will make the final determination. It's not about your I'm saying that other MPs may be in your position and they have not applied to the Speaker. Does not absolve you.
So you heard there the North Tongue MP Samuel Okudzeto Ablaka, and of course the Minister for Food and Agriculture and owner of Rock City Hotel, Brian A. Champon, on the Super Morning Show. Now, the Trade Union Congress and CLOCSAG at a joint news conference yesterday indicated that they will embark on a demonstration if the sale is not reversed. Vice Chairman of the TUC, Ken Chenebua-Kodia, says all labor unions will hit the street if their demands are not met.
Labor don't like always letting stand. But unfortunately, in this country, it is the only thing that government would listen to. It makes me serious overhauling. ILO has asked me to develop a funding policy that will revive their investment, that will revive their programs and their policies, and that will also engender increment in contribution. Since 2014, ILO has been on SNET. For this to be done, SNET is not bothered. Every indication is that SNET is heading towards a point where, if you're not careful, it cannot give retirees
what they deserve. Every public institution in this country will close. It includes government ministries, FDAs. It includes the schools, the universities. It includes the hospitals. It includes aviation. It includes BRA, GRA. So we are all just shutting down because this is about our future.
That's the Vice Chairman of the Trade Union Congress, Ken Chinibua-Kodua, and they've since petitioned the presidency over the matter. We'll get into the election headquarters now, and the Electoral Commission says fake Ghana card numbers were used to register some individuals in the ongoing voter registration process at the Pusiga District Registration Centre on May 13, 2024. According to the EC, approximately 17 individuals were found who have utilized counterfeit Ghana card numbers during the registration exercise conducted at the said centre. The EC and the police have taken action, and my colleague Kwekwa Sante joins me in studio with more on this. Let's talk about the EC statement. What more does it say?
Well, it provides the facts. It says during the voter registration exercise on 13th May, a data entry clerk observed suspicious Ghana card numbers on 17 registration forms. Upon investigation, it was revealed that the Ghana card numbers were fake. The registration officer who allowed this was in fact arrested, and a report has been made to the police. The EC says the registration officer was dismissed. A report was made to the police and he was arrested. He has since been granted a police inquiry bail while the police continue with their investigation. The 17 applicants were subsequently registered through the guarantor system, and the police are currently continuing with the investigation. The commission is assuring the public and warning temporary officials that it will not countenance the breach of its electoral laws.
Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission will hold a news conference this afternoon to address the subject matter and other matters on the limited voter registration exercise. Also, the National Commission for Civic Education says persons who campaign for votes based on religions or nation workers who must be rejected outright by the electorate. While speaking at the launch of the Inter-Party Dialogue Committee's NCC chairperson Kathleen Addy warned campaigns along religious and ethnic lines could destabilize the country as Ghana heads for the crucial 2024 election. She insists such persons must not be voted for.
And it is our hope that it will not happen, that somebody will stand somewhere and urge people to vote for them on the basis of religion, or urge people to not vote for others on the basis of religion. If people do that, we will call them out and tell them that they are nation wreckers. We are also paying close attention to religious intolerance and ethnic-based campaigns that are divisive and that do not augur well for us. The ethnic-based campaigns are something that we see popping up during most elections. It's a very unhealthy practice, and we hope that as time goes on, as we deepen and mature in our democracy, we will see less and less of that. In fact, it is our hope that the nearly 1 million new voters that will vote this year will not continue the practice of old of voting along ethnic lines. The other thing is religious intolerance, which is a new threat that we are dealing with as a country. It is a very dangerous development that now people want to couch messages in terms of religion, why one person should vote for one type of religion or another person should not vote for one type of religion.
Meanwhile, spokesperson for the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Karimi Al-Shaibu, has been cautioning the media against allowing intemperate language on the airwaves.
We rely on you so much. If somebody comes to your media house and is using, or excuse my language, he speaks in a very reckless manner without thinking about the implication of, one, the content of what he says, and two, the tone of the discussions, then you must be those who keep that discussion under control. Media discussions must be so healthy and seen as an opportunity to make an exchange in how we put ideas together and help us in a way as to really arrive at a choice of the best that is good for our country.
Spokesperson of the National Chief Imam Sheikh Karimi Al-Shaibu there taking us out of the election headquarters, made possible by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. The Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, AICPA and CIMA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, and the Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service making it possible to bring to you your election headquarters. And now, members of the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union have declared an indefinite sit-down strike demanding improved conditions of service. According to the drivers, an agreed-upon policy framework aimed at enhancing their salaries and other working conditions has been on the table of the National Petroleum Authority Board since November 2023. Despite several efforts to get it approved, the aggrieved drivers say the NPA has refused to vote on it for it to be implemented. Speaking to Joy News, Chairman of the union, George Nyaunu, told my colleague Carlos Caloni that they will only return to work if the NPA implements the framework.
6th of this month, last month, we released a press release. We gave them 2 weeks ultimatum because we love Ghana. 2 weeks have elapsed. Today, as we talk to you, we sent a petition to the president on the 7th of May. Today is 21st. We have not received any message from authorities. That is the reason why we decided to put our tools down. The authorities' concern comes to our aid.
Does it mean you are not working at all or what?
We are not working at all. That is the truth. Simply because we have worked for so long, we respect authorities, we calm down ourselves, we have done every possible thing, all sorts of things to do to calm down our members. But we all know the situation of this country today. You work at the end of the month, nothing for yourself. What are you going to tell your children? What are you going to tell your family at home?
That's George Nyawunu there, leads the Tanker Drivers Association, speaking to my colleague Carlos Caloni. On that note, we take a quick break here on the Midday News, made possible by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank. Where Duraplus goes, water flows. We've been hearing from the Interior Minister describing as false minority allegations that all NPP parliamentary candidates or members have been given 30 slots for recruitment into the various security services. We'll take a break and return with sport. And London authorities are pursuing Ghana's High Commission in UK for over £50 million in unpaid congestion charges. Details as they vow to push for the matter to be taken up all the way to the International Criminal Court of Justice.
They think that the diplomats in London are supposed to pay these taxes, and that is why they insist that they would move to every extent to ensure that all these diplomats pay this tax. You have America, you have...
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a Petrosol station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
December is just around the corner and our nation stands at a crossroads. Will we continue down the same path or will we forge a new one together? The choice is ours, but we need every voice to be heard. That is why the New Force is investing time and resources to educate and encourage everyone about the voters' ID card registration. To all of you out there unsure if your vote matters, your voice matters. Your vote is your power and your opportunity to shape the future of our motherland. Don't let others decide for you. Don't stay silent. Get up, get out there, and get your voter's ID card today. Make sure you are ready to make a difference when the time comes. Don't delay. Act now. From the 7th to the 27th of May, and on the 30th of May, you can replace all missing ID cards. Every vote counts. Your vote, your destiny. A message from Nana Kwame Bediako and the New Force.
Showtime, good life time. Kadi, how is your good life?
Hey, before you attack that sumptuous variety of foods with Toto, do yourself a favor.
Wash your hands with soap under running water, your bowl before you eat, and at all other critical moments. That is,
before you cook, after you visit the toilet, change your baby's diaper,
and when you return home from anywhere.
Let's all come aboard Good Life by washing our hands with soap under running water and at all other critical moments to keep the germs away from our family. Good Life, live it well. It's an everyday thing. Good Life from Ghana Health Service and partners with support from USAID.
Hello, Ghana. Are you tired of the same old political rhetoric? Do you believe it is time for a change that truly represents the voices of our youth, women, and children? I present to you Nana Kwame Bediako. He is a visionary leader with a passion for making our country better through innovative industrial revolution. Together, we can change the political narrative and create a government that truly represents the interest of all citizens. Join this journey to build a better and inclusive future for all by contributing to our Save Ghana Fund campaign. Your support, no matter the amount, is not just a donation. It is an investment in the shared desire for a more prosperous, equitable, and better nation. To donate, visit www.nkb.com.gh or dial *887 *2024 #. Thank you for your support.
Time for sports on the Midday News. Mubarak.
Yes, MFA. So Ghana's Black Starlets will look to book their place in the semi-final of the Waffle Zone B Cup of Nations when they take on Benin at 4 p.m. today at the University of Ghana. Now, the team needs to avoid defeats to qualify for the last four of the competition following their victory over Ivory Coast in the opening match. We can now hear from the head coach, Lai Kingston.
Complacent? I don't think it's in the dictionary. You know, for us, we have respect for everything. Like I said earlier on, the boys want to keep 100% record, so they approach every game with all serious. The Benin game will not be anything different from other games that we've played. We're keeping 100% record. We're going to start the game well, and then whatever happens, we deal with it. I know it's going to be difficult. When we get it right for the first time, for the first half, first minute, I think it's good. If we have challenges, we'll manage to fight till we get control. So.
Yeah, that's the head coach of the Black Starlets, Lai Kingston.
Thank you very much, Mubarak. It's time for our filth exhibition, and we are getting to Kwame Nkrumah Circle. And residents and traders and passers-by there are asking for us to provide rubbish bins and discipline those who don't comply. Well, Hannah Odami has today's series of filth exhibition.
They should give people warning. They should not put Ebola inside the gutter.
The verdict of these residents and traders at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle is a sum of many others Joy News spoke to. Yes, they are aware of the filth in which they live and sell, but the solution, according to them, lies in the authorities who have to provide them with rubbish bins.
Circle hapati hade the intent mean your friend say obiya do pewa.
This place, people choose to throw rubbish anywhere and anyhow. So we need dustbins so that people will find it difficult throwing rubbish on the floor. Just look at how nasty it is to see the heaps of rubbish in the middle of the road.
Even after collection, the nauseating stench that fills the air in the immediate surrounding is not befitting for a city center, reason why some are calling for stringent measures to deal with persons who litter the area.
When
it rains, you can't even pass by this area because you will see how the rainwater will expose the littered rubbish all over, and the stench is overpowering. I suggest that the policemen stationed under the bridge discipline those who throw rubbish away carelessly.
Whilst they wait for governments, perhaps they can take a cue from their fellow traders right opposite them, who have devised a strategy to keep their surroundings clean.
We are a group of traders who have chosen to keep our environment clean. We don't rely on government at all to keep our environment clean. And when we get in of our members flouting the rules, we punish the person to ensure that everyone complies.
From the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, I am Hannah Odami for joining us.
From the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, let me take you all the way to London, and the Ghana High Commission there is owing city authorities over £5 million in congestion charges. The congestion charge is a road toll that is paid by diplomats who drive through a certain square mile of the city of London. How come we are owing this amount? I'm told it's over 20 years, and George Riafi has been finding out more from the High Commission. Well, our sources there. What exactly are we picking up?
So, Amy, for the charge, if you go through what the transport authorities have put out, is a little over £5 million. And from 2003 to 2023. Now, engaging some persons close to the commission, they insist that as at the end of last year, there hasn't been any official charge being presented to them from the transport authorities, and therefore it's not fair for this to come out to claim that, they owe this amount. They're also arguing that they are going to join the other embassies and high commissions that are classifying this as a tax than as a service fee, and they are diplomats and they are not supposed to be paying taxes.
Okay. Well, we'll get more from George subsequently. M&J. Yeah. Let's go. What are people saying? What's happening?
Well, okay, Ghana Music Awards in some days, happening in just about
1st June.
Yeah, 1st June, so 2 weeks. That same day we have Rep Your Jersey. Yeah, Hits FM Rep Your Jersey. But a lot of people are talking about the new artist of the year.
Who is that? We have 6 people in the category, but then they are tipping 2. That's King Paluta and Olive the Boy.
My own Paluta.
Who do you think is winning that?
Nobody has to be Paluta.
Oh, Olive the Boy. I think Olive the Boy.
Yeah, Generation Z. She's Olive the Boy.
So
this one here is from Bella Dema GH. He says very tight category, but Olive the Boy really deserves to win. He really cooked under the year and the review. And then Jay Breezy says the Goodson Hitmaker deserves the new artist of the year. In fact, check MFS TikTok. She has a video singing Asida. Go and check it out. So I see that note.
Let's go. On that note, we end today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am MFA Apau. Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabo is up next. The Father and his household.